You've tried everything. New jobs, new goals, new habits. But you still feel like you're playing someone else's game. What if the problem isn't what you're doing, but how you're positioned? Here's what no one tells you about feeling lost in your 30s. It's not a personal failing. It's a design flaw. So here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to share the exact moment the positioning shift happened for me personally. The story of how I went from waiting for direction to conducting my own life. Then I'll break down the framework that explains why so many of us end up feeling lost in our 30s, and how to make this shift for yourself. And we'll end with a simple action step that you can take personally this week to start positioning yourself as the conductor of your own symphony. Sound good? So it's a quiet morning in my home office. I'm sitting here in front of my camera, looking at a script that I had written the night before. The first YouTube video for this new chapter in my life. For years, I'd been following other people's playbooks, right? Someone else's vision for what success actually looks like. But this script was different. It came from me, from my experience, my voice, my message, right? I press record. And as I start reading my own words into the camera, something unexpected happens. There's this line where I say, "You're not lost." And suddenly I realize I'm speaking to my past self, to the version of me that spent years feeling exactly like that. My voice cracks and emotion just kind of washes over me, Because in that moment, I'm not just delivering someone else's content or following someone else's orders for that matter. I'm reading my own sheet music, I'm conducting my own orchestra. And for the first time in years, I feel free. When I stop recording and walk out of that room, I'm exhilarated, lighter. Like I've just discovered what it actually feels like to be self-directed instead of constantly waiting for the next cue. That was the moment where everything shifted. So here's the positioning secret that I discovered. Most of us spend our lives as instrumentalists in someone else's orchestra. Maybe you started as the triangle player, waiting in the back, playing your one note when someone else told you to, right? Over the years, you got better. You learned different instruments even. Saxophone, trombone, percussion. All those experiences you think of as failures or false starts, those weren't setbacks at all. Those were you learning different instruments, right? Building your range, understanding how all the pieces fit and work together. By your 30s, you've got this incredible breadth of experience, right? You know the brass section, your career skills. You've touched the strings, your relationships and personal growth. You've felt the rhythm section, those creative impulses that you have. But here's what happens. You're still thinking like a single instrument player. You're still waiting for someone else to hand you sheet music and tell you when to come in. The positioning secret is this. You're not required to pick just one instrument anymore. You can conduct the whole freaking symphony. You have to stop seeking the next hoop. You have to start creating your own hoops. Stop looking for the next assignment and start writing your own curriculum. The same person who felt lost or waiting for direction was always capable of being the conductor. You just have to step up to the podium and pick up the baton. So here's what I want you to do. Think about one area of your life where you're still waiting for someone else's cue, where you're playing their music instead of writing your own. Maybe it's a creative project you keep putting off, or maybe it's a career move that you're waiting for someone else to validate. Maybe it's just speaking up in meetings with your own ideas instead of building off of others, right? Pick one thing, whatever it is. And this week, step up to the podium. You don't need a perfect set of sheet music. You don't need to conduct the full symphony on day one. Just pick up the baton though and see what happens when you give yourself permission to lead. So what's one area where you've been waiting for someone else's cue instead of conducting your own symphony? Drop it in the comments for me. I read every one, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear in this moment. And if you want to actually watch the first video that I recorded, where that shift happens, where I became the conductor and discovered what it feels like to reconnect with my true self, well, it's right here when you're ready. Thanks for watching.